Hello, my dear friends, and welcome again to English Online. Today we are beginning a brand new series together. This time, we are not at the airport or on the airplane. We are at the very beginning of a journey, before the tickets are bought, before the bags are packed, before the plane takes off. Our topic is planning a vacation. Planning a vacation is an exciting process. It is a time when we dream, when we imagine, when we make decisions that will shape our experience. A vacation is more than just traveling. It is a chance to rest, to discover, to spend time with people we love, or even to spend time with ourselves. But to make a vacation successful, we need to plan it carefully. In this new journey with English Online, we will go step by step through the process of preparing for a vacation. We will think about destinations, money, tickets, hotels, and everything that makes a holiday complete. Along the way, we will practice English, learn new words, and imagine ourselves living these situations in real life. So, my friends, take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's begin episode 1 of Planning a Vacation. Episode 1: Choosing the destination and gathering ideas. When I sit down to plan a vacation, the first question that comes to my mind is very simple: where should I go? At first, it feels easy, but when I start thinking about all the possibilities, I realize that it is also a little difficult. The world is so big, and there are so many beautiful places. How can I choose just one? I take out my notebook and write on the first page, my vacation plan. The paper is white and empty, waiting for my ideas. I hold my pen and close my eyes for a moment. I ask myself, what do I really want from this vacation? Do I want to relax on a beach with soft sand and blue water? Do I want to walk through the busy streets of a big city, visiting museums and restaurants? Or do I want to be close to nature, hiking in the mountains, breathing fresh air, and listening to the sound of rivers? The images come to my mind one after another. I imagine the Eiffel Tower in Paris shining at night. I imagine the beaches of Thailand with palm trees moving in the wind. I imagine the quiet temples of Japan, where everything feels calm and peaceful. Each picture makes me curious. Each picture makes me excited. But then I remind myself that choosing a destination is not only about dreams. It is also about practical questions. How much time do I have? If I only have 1 week, traveling very far may not be possible. How much money can I spend? Some destinations are more expensive than others. What season is it? If it is winter in my country, maybe I want to escape to somewhere warm. If it is summer, maybe I want a cooler place with mountains or lakes. I start writing ideas in my notebook. I make a simple chart to compare options. On one line I write Italy. Under activities I note visiting Rome, eating pizza, exploring museums. Under budget I write medium to high. On another line I write Thailand. Under activities I write beach, island hopping, snorkeling. Under budget I write low to medium. When I look at these notes, I can already see the differences. Italy is full of history and culture, but it costs more. Thailand offers relaxation and adventure, and it is cheaper. This chart helps me think more clearly. Still, I don't only rely on my notebook. I open my laptop and begin searching online. I type best vacation destinations into the search bar. Instantly, hundreds of images appear. I see pictures of blue oceans, snowy mountains, green forests, and tall skyscrapers. Each picture feels like an invitation. Some show people smiling on the beach. Others show travelers with backpacks walking through narrow city streets. These images make me feel like I am already traveling. Sometimes I also watch short videos. I see tourists tasting food at markets, laughing as they ride boats, or taking photos at famous landmarks. Watching these videos makes the destinations feel alive. They are not just names on paper anymore. They are real places with real experiences waiting for me. After watching for a while, I noticed something interesting. Choosing a destination is not only about logic. It is also about emotion. When I see a picture or read a story that makes my heart beat faster, I know that this place is special. Sometimes, the decision comes from a feeling more than from numbers or charts. But I also want to hear the opinions of others. I talk with my family and friends. My sister says she dreams of a sunny beach. My father prefers quiet cities with history. My friend wants excitement and nightlife. Everyone has a different idea of a perfect vacation. I write their suggestions too. It helps me to see more options, and sometimes their ideas inspire me. At this point, my notebook is no longer empty. It is full of names, ideas, and possibilities. Italy, Thailand, Japan, maybe even Spain or New York. The list is long, but step by step I know I will find the right choice. When I close the notebook, I feel a quiet happiness. Planning a vacation is not only about going somewhere far away. It is about the joy of imagining, the joy of preparing, the joy of dreaming. Even before the tickets are bought, I already feel like I am on my way. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 1, choosing the destination and gathering ideas. In the next episode, we will talk about money and how to make a budget for the vacation. Stay with English Online and get ready for episode 2. Episode 2, Making a Budget and Planning Expenses. When the excitement of choosing possible destinations calms down, another important question appears: how much will this vacation cost? A dream is beautiful, but to make it real, I need to think about money. Planning a budget is like drawing the map of the journey. Without it, I could feel lost or worried. With it, I feel safe, clear, and ready. I open my notebook again. On the next page, I write vacation budget. The first line stays empty for a moment. I look at the page and ask myself, where does the money usually go during a trip? Slowly, I begin to write the answers. There is the cost of traveling to the destination, the cost of a place to stay, the cost of food and drinks, the cost of activities, and, of course, the little extras that always appear. I start with transportation. If I choose Thailand, I will need a plane ticket, and I know it will not be cheap. I search online and see prices. Some flights are direct. Some have connections. The numbers change every day. I imagine myself sitting on the plane, and I remind myself, this is the first big step of the vacation. Without the ticket, there is no journey. So, I write down the price carefully. Then I think about accommodation. A hotel can be very simple or very luxurious. A small guest house might give me a clean bed and a quiet night for a low price. A luxury hotel will give me a soft bed, a swimming pool, and room service, but it will cost much more. I imagine walking into a hotel lobby, smiling at the receptionist, and receiving the key. Do I want comfort, or do I prefer to save money for experiences outside? This choice is important, so I write down both options. Food comes next. Eating is not only necessary, it is also one of the greatest pleasures of traveling. I imagine sitting at a small restaurant in Italy, tasting fresh pasta and pizza. I imagine walking through a market in Thailand, trying street food with new flavors. I can almost hear the sound of people cooking, smell the spices in the air, and see the colorful dishes on the table. Food will take part of the budget every single day, so I must think carefully. I also think about activities. A vacation is not just sleeping and eating. It is exploring. It is doing something new. If I go to Rome, I will want to visit the Colosseum, walk through museums, and maybe take a guided tour. If I go to Thailand, I will want to take a boat trip, swim near the islands, and go snorkeling. Each activity has a price. Some are free, like walking through the streets, but many have tickets. I write these down too, imagining myself doing them. Finally, I think about the extras. There are always little surprises when traveling. Maybe I want to buy gifts for my family. Maybe I need to take a taxi late at night. Maybe I find a small shop with something beautiful that I cannot ignore. These things cannot always be planned, but they are part of the joy of traveling. So, I decide to save some money for them. As I write, I notice something interesting. Making a budget is not only about numbers. It is about imagining the trip in detail. Each line of the budget makes me picture a real moment, sitting on the plane, opening the hotel door, eating delicious food, or taking part in a fun activity. The budget is not just a list of expenses, it is a picture of the vacation itself. At first, I feel a little worried. The numbers are big. Traveling costs money, and sometimes it feels too much. But then I remind myself, planning is about balance. Maybe I don't need the most expensive hotel. Maybe I can eat at small restaurants instead of fancy ones. Maybe I can choose one or two special activities instead of trying everything. In this way, the dream becomes possible. I look again at my notebook. On the page, there are destinations, ideas, and now, a clear plan for money. I feel calmer. I know what is realistic and what is not. I know what choices I must make. I know how to prepare. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 2, Making a Budget and Planning Expenses. In the next episode, we will talk about booking flights and accommodation, and how to make good choices when the time comes to reserve them. Stay with English Online and get ready for Episode 3. Episode 3, Booking Flights and Accommodation. After thinking carefully about destinations and planning a budget, the next big step in preparing for a vacation is booking. A plan on paper is beautiful, but booking makes it real. When I book my flight and my accommodation, the dream changes into a solid journey with dates, times, and places. I sit at my desk once again with my laptop open. The light of the screen shines in my eyes as I type the name of my destination. Do I want Italy? Do I want Thailand? Or do I want Japan? I feel the same excitement as before, but now it is mixed with responsibility. Booking means I am making a final choice. I start with flights. The search engine shows me dozens of options. Some are direct, some have long connections in different cities. Some flights are at night, some in the morning. The prices are never the same. I scroll down slowly, looking at each line, comparing not only the numbers but also the times. If the flight is cheap but has 2 long stops, will I really enjoy it? If the flight is expensive but direct, will I feel more comfortable? These questions move through my mind as I imagine myself inside the airplane. I also check different dates. Sometimes one day earlier or later can make the ticket cheaper. I think about my schedule, about when I can leave, and when I must return. I imagine myself at the airport on those days, holding my suitcase and showing my ticket. Booking a flight is not only about money, it is also about choosing the rhythm of the vacation. When I finally find a flight that feels right, I look at the details one more time. The departure city, the arrival city, the dates, the times, all must be correct. I feel my heart beat faster as I click on Book Now. A new page opens, asking for my name, my passport number, and my payment information. I type slowly, carefully, because one mistake can cause a problem later. Then I press the final button. A small sound comes from my laptop, and an email appears in my inbox. Booking confirmed. At that moment, I smile. The vacation is no longer just a plan. It has a ticket. Next comes accommodation. This choice is just as important as the flight, maybe even more, because the place where I sleep will become my temporary home. I open a booking website, and again I see many options. Hotels with big swimming pools, small guest houses on quiet streets, apartments with kitchens where I can cook for myself. Each picture tells a story, each review gives advice from other travelers. I imagine myself walking into these places. In one picture, I see a large hotel lobby with shining floors and friendly staff. In another, I see a small room with a simple bed but a view of the sea. Which one feels right for me? Do I want comfort and services, or do I want a local experience in a smaller place? The prices also speak loudly. Some hotels cost almost as much as the flight. Others are much cheaper but may be far from the city center. I imagine myself carrying my suitcase through streets, looking for the address. Location becomes important. I write down notes: close to transport, close to restaurants, safe neighborhood. Finally, I read the reviews carefully. Other travelers write about their experiences. The staff was friendly, the breakfast was delicious, the room was clean, or maybe the noise was too loud at night. These small details help me decide. When I make my choice, I press the reserve button. Again, I write my information, check the dates, and confirm the payment. Another email arrives: your accommodation is booked. I lean back in my chair, close my eyes, and imagine myself arriving there, putting my bag on the bed, and starting the adventure. Booking flights and accommodation is not just a task on a list. It is a moment of commitment. It means I am truly going, not just dreaming. It is a mix of logic and imagination, responsibility and excitement. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 3, Booking Flights and Accommodation. In the next episode, we will talk about preparing documents and packing, 2 steps that make us ready for the real journey. Stay with English Online and get ready for episode 4. Episode 4, Preparing Documents and Packing. After booking the flights and the accommodation, the next step is preparation. A vacation is exciting, but without proper documents and smart packing, problems can appear quickly. This stage requires attention, organization, and patience. The first thing I think about is documents. I open a small folder on my desk where I usually keep important papers. My passport is there. I take it out and check the expiration date carefully. If my passport is too old, I cannot travel. Luckily, it is still valid for another 2 years. I feel a small relief in my heart. Next, I check if I need a visa. Some countries allow travelers without a visa, but others require a special stamp or electronic permit. I go online, read the official information, and write notes in my notebook. Sometimes, I need to fill out forms, upload photos, and wait for approval. The process may take days or even weeks. Planning early helps me avoid stress later. I also think about travel insurance. It is something people often forget, but it can save a trip. If I get sick, if my luggage is lost, or if a flight is cancelled, insurance protects me. I search for simple options and read about the coverage. A small payment now can prevent a big problem later. When the documents are ready, I feel more secure. Travel becomes real not only with tickets but also with the legal permission to go. Now I turn to packing. This step is full of decisions. I open my closet and look at my clothes. Which ones are right for the destination? If I go to Italy in spring, I imagine myself walking through sunny streets. Light shirts, comfortable shoes, and maybe a jacket for cool evenings. If I go to Thailand, I think about beaches. Shorts, swimsuits, sandals, and sunscreen are necessary. If I go to Japan, I consider both city walks and traditional temples, so I choose clothes that are comfortable but also respectful. I take out my suitcase and place it on the floor. Slowly, I begin to fill it. At the bottom, I put heavier items like shoes. On top, I fold shirts and pants neatly. I roll some clothes to save space. I also think about balance. Packing too much makes the suitcase heavy, but packing too little leaves me unprepared. In another small bag, I prepare my personal items: toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, and small bottles of lotion. I also add medicine, because it is difficult to find the right kind in another country. A small first aid kit makes me feel calm. Electronics are another part of packing. My phone charger, a power bank, maybe a camera, and sometimes a small laptop. I also check if I need an adapter for plugs, because not every country uses the same shape. Forgetting an adapter can be frustrating, so I put it on top of my list. Documents, again, must be safe during travel. I prepare a special pocket in my bag for my passport, tickets, and insurance papers. I also print copies and keep them in another place, in case of loss. As I close my suitcase, I take a deep breath. I imagine myself carrying it through the airport, opening it in the hotel, and feeling grateful for every item inside. Packing is not just about objects, it is about preparing for experiences. Each item is a part of the story that is about to begin. I also remember small details. Sunglasses, a hat, a notebook for writing memories, maybe a favorite book for the flight. These things may not be essential, but they make the journey more comfortable and personal. Finally, I place a small lock on my suitcase and attach a name tag with my address and phone number. Security is important, even in small steps. When everything is ready, I look at the packed suitcase standing by the door. It is more than just a bag. It is a symbol of readiness, of adventure, of stepping into a new world. My documents give me permission, and my suitcase gives me the tools to enjoy the journey. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 4, Preparing Documents and Packing. In the next episode, we will explore the excitement of departure day, leaving home, arriving at the airport, and beginning the vacation. Stay with English Online and get ready for episode 5. Episode 5, Departure Day and Setting Off on the Journey. The morning of departure finally arrives. I wake up early, feeling a mix of excitement and a little nervousness. The suitcase is already packed, the documents are ready, and the plan is clear. Today, the dream will become reality. I start my day slowly, taking a deep breath. I eat a simple breakfast, imagining the long day ahead. Every small action feels important. Checking the pockets of my bag, making sure I have my passport and tickets, putting a snack for the trip, these are small steps, but they make me feel prepared and calm. When it is time, I close the door behind me and carry my suitcase to the car. The streets are quiet in the morning. The sun is just rising, casting soft light over the trees and houses. I think about the journey ahead, imagining the plane flying over cities and oceans, bringing me closer to my destination. Arriving at the airport, the excitement grows. The building is big, full of people. Families are hugging, travelers are rolling suitcases, and airport staff are moving quickly. I follow the signs to the check-in counter. Seeing my airline's desk, I place my bag on the scale. The machine beeps, the staff checks my documents, and a small ticket with my flight number is printed. I take it carefully, feeling a real sense of progress. Next comes security. I take out my laptop, my liquids, and small items from my bag. I walk through the scanner, and the staff politely directs me. My heart beats a little faster, but I remind myself to stay calm. After a few minutes, everything is fine, and I can move to the waiting area. The waiting area is full of travelers. Some read books, others talk quietly on phones, and some watch planes through large windows. I find a seat by the window. From here, I can see the airplanes parked outside, ready to carry people to new places. Watching them makes my imagination active. I see myself on the plane, looking out at clouds, smiling as the city becomes smaller below me. While waiting, I take out my notebook and write a few lines about my journey so far. I list the steps I have completed, choosing the destination, making a budget, booking flights and accommodation, preparing documents, and packing. Each step makes me feel proud. Planning is hard work, but it is also very satisfying. As time passes, the boarding call begins. I check my ticket, stand in line, and wait patiently. The moment when I walk down the jet bridge and step onto the plane is special. My seat is ready, my bag is in the overhead compartment, and I buckle my seatbelt. I take a deep breath, looking forward to the adventure ahead. During the flight, I imagine my first moments at the destination. Walking through streets full of new sights, tasting local food, hearing different languages, and meeting new people. This imagination makes the flight enjoyable and fills me with anticipation. Even small details feel important. I notice the sound of the engine, the slight vibration of the plane, the view of clouds passing by. Each small moment reminds me that I am finally on my way, and that all the planning has led to this real experience. By the time the plane begins its descent, I feel a mix of excitement and curiosity. I look through the window, seeing the city or the coast of the country I am visiting. Soon, the journey I planned carefully will start in reality, full of new experiences, discoveries, and memories. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 5 of Departure Day and setting off on the journey. In the next episode, we will explore arriving at the destination, checking in at the hotel, and experiencing the first moments of the vacation. Stay with English Online and get ready for episode 6. Episode 6: Arriving at the destination and first experiences. After the long flight, the plane finally lands. I feel a mixture of excitement, relief, and curiosity. The journey is not only about traveling through distance, it is about stepping into a new world, full of sights, sounds, and experiences I have never seen before. I collect my belongings from the overhead compartment and carefully follow the other passengers to the airport exit. The air feels different here. I notice the temperature, the smell, and even the rhythm of people walking. Everything is slightly new and unusual, but in a pleasant way. The first step is immigration. I join the line, holding my passport and arrival documents tightly. The officer looks at my papers, asks a few questions politely, and stamps my passport. This simple stamp feels like a key. It gives me permission to explore, to experience, and to enjoy this new place. Next, I move to collect my luggage. The carousel moves slowly, and I watch for my suitcase. When it appears, I feel a small sense of satisfaction. The bag is exactly as I packed it, ready for the next stage of my journey. I pull the suitcase and head toward the exit, where taxis and buses are waiting to take travelers to their hotels. The ride to the hotel is my first real glance at the city. Buildings, streets, cars, and people move past my window. I try to observe everything: the colors of buildings, the style of houses, the type of shops, even the way people dress. Every detail makes me feel connected to this new place. Arriving at the hotel, I check in at the front desk. The receptionist smiles, asks for my documents, and hands me the room key. I walk through the hallway, open the door, and see my temporary home. Everything is neat, clean, and ready for my stay. I place my suitcase near the bed, feeling a sense of comfort. After unpacking a few items, I take a small moment to relax and look around. The room is quiet, and the view from the window shows the streets outside. I take a deep breath, realizing that all the planning, preparation, and traveling has brought me to this moment. Now it is time to explore. I step outside, feeling the texture of the streets under my feet. I hear the language around me, see the shops and restaurants, and smell the aroma of local food. Every step is a discovery. I try to imagine what I will do over the next few days, visiting famous landmarks, tasting local dishes, talking to new people, and taking photos to remember each experience. Sometimes, small things make me smile. A friendly local greeting, the sound of street musicians, the colors of flowers in a square, these little details add richness to the experience. They remind me that travel is not only about seeing big attractions but also about noticing and appreciating small moments. I also make small plans for the next days. Which museum will I visit first? Which park looks interesting? Where should I have dinner tonight? I note a few options in my travel notebook. These notes do not restrict me. Instead, they give guidance so I can enjoy the vacation without confusion. By evening, I return to the hotel. I feel tired but happy. Every step of the day, from landing to exploring, has been an adventure. I reflect on the journey so far and smile, knowing that the vacation has begun in the best way possible. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 6, arriving at the destination and first experiences. In the next episode, we will explore daily adventures, local food, sightseeing, and the exciting experiences that make a vacation memorable. Stay with English Online and get ready for episode 7. Episode 7: Daily Adventures, Sightseeing, and Vacation Reflections. After arriving at my destination and settling into the hotel, every day becomes a new adventure. I wake up early, feeling fresh and eager to explore. The first thing I do is look at my travel notebook. I have written down a few ideas for sightseeing, local attractions, and experiences I want to enjoy. Planning the day gives me direction, but I also leave space for surprises and spontaneous discoveries. The morning begins with a local breakfast. I try new foods, tasting flavors I have never experienced before. Maybe it is fresh pastries in Italy, tropical fruits in Thailand, or rice and tea in Japan. Eating local food is not only about nourishment, it is also about understanding culture. I notice how people eat, what they serve, and how they interact. Each meal becomes a small lesson in culture and tradition. After breakfast, I step outside to explore. I walk along streets filled with history, shops, and cafes. The sounds of the city, the chatter of people, street musicians, and the occasional bicycle bell create a lively atmosphere. I take photos, write notes, and sometimes pause just to observe. Observation is a key part of travel. It allows me to notice details that I may forget otherwise, the patterns of windows, the colors of walls, or even the way locals smile at each other. Sightseeing is often a highlight of the day. I visit museums, historical landmarks, and parks. Each place tells a story. In museums, I see artworks, artifacts, and exhibitions that reflect the history and identity of the country. I imagine the lives of people from the past and try to connect their stories with what I know. In parks, I watch children playing, birds flying, and locals jogging or practicing yoga. These everyday scenes are also a part of the culture and life of the city. Sometimes, I join guided tours. A guide can tell stories that are not in books or websites. Listening carefully, I learn about traditions, customs, and local legends. I take notes in my travel notebook, drawing small sketches or writing down new words in the local language. Learning a few words, like hello, thank you, or excuse me, makes interactions with locals more enjoyable and respectful. In the afternoon, I often take a break in a cafe. I sit quietly, watch people passing by, and enjoy a cup of coffee or tea. This is my moment of reflection. I think about the morning adventures, the new places I saw, and the new experiences I had. Reflection is important during travel, just like during school or daily life. It helps me remember, appreciate, and understand my experiences more deeply. Shopping is another interesting part of the day. I look for souvenirs, local crafts, or small gifts for family and friends. I compare prices, observe materials, and sometimes even talk to the artisans who made the items. Shopping becomes more than buying, it becomes learning about local creativity, skills, and traditions. Evenings are magical. The city lights, evening markets, and street performances create a completely different atmosphere. I may take a slow walk along the waterfront, listen to music, or sit in a small square, enjoying the sound of life around me. The beauty of evenings is that they allow quiet reflection. I review my travel notebook, write about the day, and think about what I want to do tomorrow. During the vacation, I also learn about balance. Some days are full of activities and walking, while others are calm, relaxing by the beach or in a park. I realize that enjoying a vacation is not only about visiting many places but also about feeling comfortable, calm, and present in every moment. By the last day, I feel a mixture of happiness and nostalgia. I have seen so many new places, tasted new foods, and met interesting people. I have learned to plan, observe, and adapt. Each moment has contributed to making this vacation unforgettable. As I prepare to return home, I pack my suitcase carefully, making sure everything is secure. I double-check my documents, tickets, and travel insurance. I also take a few minutes to look back at the city one last time, appreciating the experiences and memories I am carrying with me. On the flight back, I reflect on the entire journey. Planning the vacation, booking flights and hotels, preparing documents, packing, exploring, trying new foods, and observing local life, each step taught me something valuable. I feel grateful for the opportunity to travel and for all the lessons learned along the way. And my dear friends, this is the end of episode 7, and the final episode of our vacation planning journey. I hope you have enjoyed exploring how to plan, prepare, and experience a vacation step by step. Remember, traveling is not only about destinations but also about preparation, observation, curiosity, and reflection. Every choice you make, every step you take, and every moment you enjoy becomes part of a story that is uniquely yours. Thank you for staying with English Online throughout this journey. Keep exploring, planning, and discovering the world around you. Step by step, with careful preparation, curiosity, and a joyful heart, every vacation can become an unforgettable adventure.